Live from the heart of Hamlin in Disney's backyard, from the Home State Brewing Co., this is Coffee Time Live, coming to you from Filigree Coffee inside Home State. I'm so official. And now, here's the official realtor of Disney's backyard, Amy Kidwell. Hey, you know what? Here's one thing. Your mic's not on. Come on around. Remember, Steele, where I said something's not plugged in? Why is that not plugged in? It was that.
That would be it. Well, that's okay. We're all good. I wanted to sit anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. You're almost there.
I'm almost there.
There. Now you're.
I'm on. Yay!
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet, he says.
There we go.
Okay.
Now you're on. There we go.
Perfect.
Hey.
So you all missed a lovely intro.
Do it again.
No, I'm not going to do it again. But hey, guys, seriously, thank all of you for joining in. What I was saying before was we originally thought about doing something on location just to kind of get out in the community and to let so many of you that kind of chat with us on our little Coffee Time Live broadcasts on Monday morning, just kind of be a part of it, because that's really what we are. It's the Heart and Home Orlando family, and you are all family members from whatever relationship we have, whether you're a client or a future client or a friend or just a neighbor or just somebody that watches, or if you just happen to be at Filigree today getting coffee. We appreciate everybody being here. But what I was saying, I was kind of making a joke that for those of you that do join us every Monday, there's that window that sits behind me in my office, and I had special retractable blinds put in, and I asked this guy right here, will this be enough filter for you for the live things? He said yes, and every time it's not enough. So he goes around, I'm not kidding, to the outside of our house, props up a sheet with some pool tools that we have to give it a little bit of an extra cover. So really this was supposed to be a break for Eric so that he didn't have to do that, but it has become a much bigger process. He has been working on this. The cords around me, I have one job, but it's not to trip over this thing down here to my left. So if I can get through this without tripping, that would be fantastic. So anyway, so thank you guys again for joining in. We're not sure how this is going to work, and it really doesn't matter, because if we're live and it keeps working, fantastic. If not, I've got a group of friends here right here that I'm just going to sit and chat with. So on that, so we want to thank Filigree Coffee for allowing us to be here, for Home State Brewing Co. for allowing us to be here on site. They have been incredibly generous. We're going to talk to them a little bit later so that you can get to know them. They are now a signature piece here in our community in Hamlin. Go Daddy Hamlin. There you go. There he goes.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is a wonderful, wonderful experience for us to be able to kind of get out and in the community. We're out all the time anyway. We see you guys at Target. We see you at Lowe's. We see you at the tiny Target. We see you out and all over the place, but it really is nice to kind of have a little spot where we can join together, and we're going to talk about what that word is a little bit later as well. I'm trying to make this come full circle. Right? Come on, you can keep walking past me. Come on, you can keep walking. So we like to mention real quick, we have Marco, Colin, Lexi, and AJ, all instrumental in this beautiful building that we are in, and I really want everyone to find time to come see it in person if you're not here already, to kind of see really how beautiful it is. It's interesting, it's architecturally cool. You want to go around? Yeah. You want to talk to him?
In a second, he's going to do something for me.
He's going to do something for you. Okay, so anyway, so we are going to kind of do our normal show with a few different little inserts here and there, so why don't we go ahead and get to what's brewing? What do you think about that?
Let's do it.
Eric's pushing button. Okay, so our What's Brewing topics today, very appropriate since we are here at Filigree. We have our 3 topics, and the first one is Critter Watch. So if you follow our Instagram, thanks to Alyssa over there, I constantly am sending her pictures. She's taking them of all of the different creatures and critters that we have here in Florida. And yesterday, I think it was yesterday morning, was it yesterday, Eric? I woke up and I looked at our own HOA or our own Facebook community page, and they're like, hey, taking my morning walk, and over here up against old YMCA is a bobcat. So we have bobcats. Our friends Daryl and Jen sent us pictures not too long ago of a bear, right? It was a bear, coyotes, all sorts of crazy things. So all I'm saying is it's not just about gator water here. There's a lot of other things. And so there's the bobcat. That was a picture that one of our neighbors snapped. And of course there was the discussion as to, is it a cougar, is it a panther, is it a bobcat, like what is it? We don't really know. We're assuming it's a bobcat. So if anyone else is able to look at that and tell automatically, let us know. But I will tell you that's a little bit scary because that's a little bit too close to home, like literally a little bit too close to home. We walk our dogs right across the street from where that is. So it also is a little bit sad because, you know, we see those because we're taking away their environment, you know, all the construction, which we love in some ways. You know, these animals, you know, we're taking away their habitat. So I feel bad that they're, you know, probably just trying to find a place to call home again. But so Critter Watch, point is, if you live in Florida, you got snakes, you got gators, you got bobcats, you got bears. What else? We've got really massive, like, grasshoppers or crickets, right? What are those things called? Those things that are like giant? Do you know what they're called? Does anybody know what they're called? What are they called? Landlubbers? Really? They're, yeah, but they're giant, right? They're really big, and they're beautiful when you look at them up close. Anyway, so those are the Critter Watch here in Florida, in the Hamlin area. He's not with him. It's because I don't have to push the button. All right, so let's move on to the best time to buy. So let's get to a real estate topic. We've had this a lot lately from clients that I've been speaking to on the phone. As well as just kind of out and about as to when is the best time to buy, when is the best time to sell. And again, anything I ever tell you is going to be based on where we live, our little nugget of a space here, our little, you know, heaven on earth here in Disney's backyard. So where you live, if you're outside of the state, if you're outside of the country, obviously that timeline is going to change. But for us, if you think about things, first of all, it's Florida. So people want to move to Florida all the time, yes? For the weather specifically, you know, so you really have to think about your family dynamic and what does that mean to you. So for instance, if you have children and you are, you know, you need to get here and you need to get acclimated into a school situation so that those kids can start school, most people prefer to do that over the summer so that they can get into the school year when we start in August. And keeping that in mind, here in Florida we start in August as opposed to places like in September when it's after Labor Day. So I have a lot of people that they come from a state where it's Labor Day and they didn't finish school until like the end or the middle of June, and then they're moving here where it's like, and that was actually us, you know, then you start back again in August. So if you think about that, it's a very busy time for buyers. A lot of buyers are out looking in kind of that second quarter, right? That April, May, June timeline. So that's a good time if you're thinking of selling. You can, you know, kind of acclimate yourself to that timeline. Maybe be thinking about it earlier on, right after the first of the year, and then start to put things on the market, get yourself prepped and ready. But I've got a couple listings coming up in some 55 plus communities, and that mindset totally doesn't matter to them. It's almost the opposite, because the people that are looking to move into a 55 plus community most often are looking to escape the cold most of the time. They're looking to retire. They can kind of do that whatever their retirement timeline lands within their own life. But the other aspect is, you know, if they're coming from up north, as soon as that weather starts to get cold, that's when they're looking. So it kind of bumps right back up to the school timeline, right? So we want to get here in the summer, and then it's usually kind of the fall and the winter timeline where the 55 plus, we call them snowbirds, and that's a very, you know, we love that term. It's a very positive term, but they like to come here then and escape that cold so that they can enjoy their winters here in Florida, which, by the way, is the most glorious time here. Our winter is never very harsh, but it's beautiful. That's when you get to open up those sliders and you get to let that outdoor space become part of your indoor space, and it's really quite lovely when you do that. So taking a look at this, we'll just kind of go through it. April through June is really, you know, kind of the spring and early summertime. Buyers and sellers both are thinking about those transitions. Winter and early spring, that's kind of when you have job transitions that seem to be happening. Some people find out at the end of the year, you know, they go to their holiday party and, hey, congratulations, we're transferring you. That can happen sometimes, and then they're starting to look. You've got the July through September This is, people are a little bit late to the rush, we say. There are still people that are moving. Those are the people that probably don't have kids that need to get acclimated and into a home and prep for school, or maybe they do and they're just a little late to the ball game. That would be us, and that's okay. That's not a problem. And then, of course, again, fall and early winter, that's pretty much slow on both sides. So not that Eric and I ever get a vacation, but if we ever do get to breathe, it's usually during, October seems to be kind of the lowest month, because when October happens, it's just kind of the end of all of the summer and the back to school rush, and we're not quite into the holiday hubbub yet. But generally speaking, that's kind of a time where no one really wants to move if you don't have to, right? If you have a home and you want to sell, unless you have to, you really don't want people kind of traipsing through your home while you're trying to prepare for the holidays and having family in and out of town. And the reverse is true then for the buyer. They're probably not really looking to move themselves during that timeline. So hopefully that helps if you are looking to buy or sell, at least in this area. Again, everything here is kind of specific to where we live. So the third part of our What's Brewing is, hold on, I have my cheat sheet. Gamutlikite. Gamutlikite. Okay, I know I'm saying it wrong, so my apologies. Yay, so there we go. So this is a lovely word, and are we going to do the segment where we get to meet? Okay, so what we're going to do, before I explain this to you, I'm going to let all of the lovely people here at Home State Brewing Co. explain exactly what this word means, and then I'll try to practice my pronunciation while y'all are watching that.
One phrase that we constantly use throughout anything that we're planning is gamutlikite, which is a German phrase. Gamutlikite is this feeling of being in a welcome, open environment where all walks of life are welcome. It's all in good cheer.
We saw a toddler take its first steps in the beer garden a week ago, so that's one of the really cool things. We see families come from all over. We see coworkers from all over the country. They'll meet here if somebody's in the area, and they say, hey, we want to come to this really cool place. Let's all get together.
We're here to kind of impact and bring the community up and closer together, the neighborly atmosphere. We liked this taproom design because we're focusing on Central Florida, and that's why we're called Home State, because a lot of us came from different states. I'm from Texas, and we've made this home.
For us, we kind of transitioned that into kind of a home state of mind, where when you're here, you want to feel like you're just at home, so comfortable, and we want all our guests to enjoy the beers, but also enjoy the atmosphere as well.
As Marco says, remember, at the end of the day, we're slinging beer, and to me, we're building the community. It could be any business, but the community is what's important to me, being from here. We just are blessed with good people, and in the back of house and in the front of house and in guests, we're just really lucky. We're happy to be here.
Hey, some of you have them already. They're on to you. There you go. Right? See? Right? Absolutely. So come on, seriously, this is a beautiful, beautiful place.
And we're really excited to have them a part of our neighborhood, a part of our community, and part of our Heart and Home Orlando family. So on the conversation, or on the topic of gamutlikite, that's so bad. Whatever, that one, let's talk about crunching the numbers, because we have something really interesting that I think is going to relate to that.
Hey, so can I do something first?
Yeah, you can do something first.
Let me do something first.
It's your show, baby.
We have breaking news.
Breaking news.
So the breaking news is that the microphone's a little funky, I guess, on the thing, right? So we're going to see how it goes, is my only point. So if you're watching us at home, I think it's a little crunchy, they say. So we're trying, I think it's fine, but we're just going to go with it. So that was the breaking news. Live from Home State Brewing Co., this is Eric Kidwell. Back to you, Amy.
Okay. All right, we're going to crunch some numbers with Forrest. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Brewing Company has a Settlers Club lifetime membership that sells for $3,250. This gets you lots of stuff, but the primary benefit is 1 mug of beer every day for life. Is it worth it? Let's crunch the numbers. The average life expectancy in America is currently 77, and the average age of a person in the US is currently 38 years old. That means you've got 39 years of beers ahead. Figuring on 2% inflation per year, the average lifetime cost of a mug of beer at Home State would be $11. So, for your Settlers Club membership, you need to stop into Home State Brewing Company 295 times in your life, or just around once every 2 months. But say you come in once a week starting right now. That means on Saturday, February 24th, 2029, you'll drink your 295th beer and you'll be drinking free for the rest of your life. Now, if you're like Norm from Cheers, and you come by every single day, that means you're drinking for free starting on April 22nd of next year. You'll have 38 years of free beer in your future. That seems like a great deal. Of course, none of this takes into account the value of gamutlikite, the feeling of being around your Home State friends, hanging in the beer garden, or playing Dungeons & Dragons on a Tuesday night. Gamutlikite has great value, but it's not a number that we can crunch. So, is the Settlers Club membership worth it? If you drink a beer a week, you'll not really find a better deal.
Okay, so there you have it. It is absolutely a good deal. So, did you hear that? Right? Joe, you want to sign up for that? All right, he's on it, my friend. So, absolutely. Now, it really is. I love the different ways to approach numbers, and that one obviously we did specifically in fun here, but the reality is it actually really is a good deal. So why don't we see if Marco wants to tell us a little bit about this again, and for all of you that are here that are enjoying coffee or maybe a different beverage, maybe you want to be part of the Settlers Club, yeah? So Marco, welcome. Thank you for letting us be here. Everyone, it's Marco. Yay. So I know we had the little interview piece before, but first of all, from the bottom of my heart, we really do thank you for letting us be here. This is a great honor for us to have a business here that's so important to our community, allow just little old us to come in here and have a little old get together. But thank you for that. So why don't you tell us
for coming in the spotlight as well.
Oh, well, thank you. So tell us a little bit more. So the Settlers Club, it was called the Founders Club, and then we changed it to Settlers Club. Is that right?
Well, so
or is it reversed?
The Founders Club was developed before we opened, and so we had about 36 members join to help us kind of with that last kind of hurdle through construction. And so, for those who were a little kind of timid to, invest kind of their money into a brewery that they weren't really sure what how it was going to turn out, we developed the Settlers Club for those who now have been here and say, oh, wow, this is pretty cool, I want to be a part of it. We've had a little bit of some feedback from our founders. They have friends that we're interested in stuff like that, so that's kind of where that's.
Oh, well, we're very excited about that. So tell us a little bit about, because you're the brewer, I am told, correct?
He's the man.
You are the man. So everyone, this is the man. He actually does the hard stuff, right? So I think I was told that you were quite young when you started brewing. I don't know are we allowed to tell that story? I think we should. Just tell us how you got started real fast.
So I started as a home brewer when I was 19.
19. Not legal drinking age, my friend.
Yeah, I had some friends who were older who were really into craft beer and into the hobby, and so they introduced me to it. And when I first started, I was just kind of cooking up some beer on my mom's stove, and at the time, just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That just kind of led to while I was in college, I started working in breweries, bartending and stuff like that, which then just kind of led into a path of getting into brewing. Here we are, 15 years later.
That's amazing. And I really like that it just came so authentically, just kind of naturally happened, kind of like this thing. I mean, these people right here, Daryl and Jen, raise your hands, and their sweet family. That's how I got into doing these videos. And that's how Heart and Home Orlando started. I wanted them to move here. And I was giving them I say private videos, and that could have really come off wrong. I sent them videos that were not published because it was just for them. It was like, hey, move, we need you here. And so I would send them little videos, and all of that just kind of having fun with it, and then it's become something much, much, much bigger. So I appreciate that. I recognize that, and again, we are so grateful. So thank you for letting us be here. Yes, sir?
And Rob has a question for Marco.
Rob has a question for Marco. Okay, hold on.
Let's go here, and then we'll go here.
See, I can't see all the questions today. I'm out of my element.
There you go. Marco.
Wondering what smooth dark beer they might offer.
Yeah, currently we have this beer called Stealth Mode. It's actually a collaboration we did with a brewery down in Miami called Unseen Creatures. that's what's really cool. You know, as brewers, we tend to get together with our friends and create beers together. So anyhow, this is what's called a smoked Tamavi lager. It's a Czech style dark lager. Untraditionally, we add a little bit of smoked malt in there, so it has some nice kind of smokiness, but not over the top like, you know, like a barbecue sandwich or anything like that. So yeah, I'd say that's the one you want to try.
All right. So Rob, we'll have to get Rob here so that he can have one.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to come eventually.
All
Any
right,
other
yeah.
questions for him?
I think we're okay at the moment.
Well, thank you again, everybody. Thank
All right,
you
cheers,
to
guys.
Marco again. Seriously.
Why don't you do wishes?
Well, I'm going to do wishes. He wants me to do wishes. You're going to push wishes?
There you go.
He's pushing wishes. Okay. Okay, so I have to tell you, this past week has been insane. It's for multiple reasons, but number one, it was, you know, the last week of the month, which also is the last week of the quarter. And in new construction, there's always a push to close. Sometimes the home is ready, sometimes really could have used another day or two or a week or two, but that push tends to happen at the end of a quarter. So this obviously, you know, the end of June was the end of a quarter. So I think on Thursday, we had 2 of our listings closed, and then on Friday, 3 of my new construction clients closed. So it was super, super exciting. So here's congratulations to Jim and Cheryl, to John and Terry, to Shelly and Dennis. And Shelly is here, and she sent me pictures yesterday. It was so cute because you literally just closed. And she's like, it's so hot, we want to go to the pool. We can't get into the amenity center yet.
Pointed at her.
Pointed at her. I was like, yeah, so that's Shelly. There's Shelly. So Shelly, how did you end up getting into the amenity center?
I texted Amy and he got a hold of Carlos for me, and Carlos basically gave me a fob and said, just bring it back when you get your fob. So it was the quickest, you know, turnaround.
Tell them what she said.
It was really nice. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yay. So part if you couldn't hear what she was saying super well, it was, so when she closed, there was just kind of a mix up with their email address. They didn't get the information that they needed to get their HOA information, the key fob to get into the amenity center. And so she was calling me, it's so hot, I want to go to the pool, how do I get in? And I said, let me reach out to Carlos, who is our builder contact, to see if we can get her in there, and you did, yep. So and then a few minutes later, she sent me a picture of her in her bathing suit with the pool. So it worked, and we're super happy. So those little kinks sometimes happen. Another kink that happens quite often are gate codes. So if you happen to live in a gated community, you need to make sure that you know how to get in and out of your community if you've just closed on it. So don't forget that one. Okay, so we had other wishes. Yep, Omar and Heidi, Nicholas and Viviana, and Trey and Ella. Oh my gosh. So Omar and Heidi, we closed on their home out in Davenport. Nicholas and Viviana and Trey and Ella all relate to one home, and that happened to be the Downtown Dream home. If you remember that one, that was the beautiful, built in 1949 home in historic downtown Winter Garden. That was the one, if you've followed us and if you've watched us, it was on a parcel of land that was actually 2 home sites. Each one was 60 feet wide, so it was 120 feet wide by like 140 feet deep. It was just ginormous. No HOA, so some of you with no HOAs, that was a good one. But Nicholas and Viviana were the sellers. Trey and Ella are the renters there, and everything is closing now. And then another wish has come true is actually my daughter and my son-in-law, Elizabeth and Steele, who just celebrated yesterday their 1-year wedding anniversary, and there they are. And they spent that. Yeah. And Jason, and Jason. Jason's with them too. But yeah, they went to Medieval Times. And if you have not been to Medieval Times, there's so many things to do here in Orlando. Whether you are a resident here and you're just trying to meet with your friends and kind of enjoy some nightlife, or if you just want some of these fun and quirky things to do, Medieval Times is a wonderful evening. The food is fabulous. The experience is really, really, really fun. And I love that they got into it by dressing the part, and they had a lovely 1-year anniversary, so congratulations to them. All right, so do we have any questions? I thought I had
We have some questions from people here.
Yes.
Call them up. There's a question here. I'll give you one on the screen.
Okay, sure. Lisa, not brewery related. LOL, yard Spraying for mosquitoes and bugs is big here in New Jersey. Is that something that's available and useful in Florida? So obviously we have mosquitoes. I don't know, and you guys, you tell me if you know differently. The trucks that I used to see when I was a little girl in Virginia, like the bug spraying truck that would come, I've actually never seen any in my neighborhood, but do they exist here? No, everyone's saying no. Yes. So I guess they exist, just maybe not the same way that we're used to in all the areas. But there's a lot of things that you can do. I've had some people that build, and this is good information when it comes to pools. Building the cage or the screened enclosure over top of your pool is always a question for people. And I always tell people there is a way that if you do not want to have that screened in, but you want to keep the mosquitoes away, especially for those that live on or around or near water, which is a lot of people around here, that there is a system where it's kind of like, it looks like a beer barrel that is out on the outside of their home. And then there's like this tube that kind of runs along the fencing, and it kind of sprays out that mosquito repellent. So it allows them to use their pool without having the mosquitoes and without having the screen. So there are certainly ways that we can repel them, but I don't know if I've seen as many trucks as I have. Yes, ma'am. We have a question from Marcia. So Marcia, they just closed. How was your new home?
Good, very good.
Very good. Excellent.
Very excited.
Her question, tell me about pest control in Florida, especially with the lake behind us. There you go. So there you go. Perfect question. So there's companies out here, and I use Massey, and I'm not getting anything for saying. That's the company that we've used. I am a creature of if it's not broke, don't fix it. And they've been doing fine all these years that I've had them. So there are companies that can come assist with that can come, whether it's bugs and spiders, whether it's mosquitoes, whether it's wasps, whether it's termites, whether it's ground type things. There are companies out there that can do whatever type of a treatment that you need. But I like I said, there is an outdoor treatment system that I've had clients use when they have a pool that they don't want screened in. So it might be something you want to check in, because I know I have seen them. They have them. They just kind of spurt out. So yeah, your house most definitely. Get that lanai screened in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marcia. Yay, perfect. We have another one?
There you go.
Oh, I know where this one came from, Kathleen. You want to come over? No, she says no. Okay. So as an out-of-state buyer, we were unaware of the practice of using a realtor for new construction. Can you describe the advantage and the difference between a buyer's and a seller's agent? So that's a really good question. Thank you. So a lot of people don't think that they need a realtor when they're purchasing new construction. And the reality is you don't have to. There's no law that says you have to have someone as your advocate or someone there to represent you. But if it doesn't cost you anything, there's kind of, why would you not want someone there to be your advocate? So in like Shelly's situation, and some of these and most of my clients here, the reason they were able to get into a home is, honestly, it's in a direct relationship that I may have with the builder. And there's a lot of realtors out there that do that work in new construction. We have so much of it around here. Having that relationship with the builders is super helpful. We may be privy to a home that's getting ready to come back on the market that's not public knowledge yet, that we're able to slide somebody in. I got some people over there, right? Where we just slide somebody right on in. And that happens all the time. So here's an example. So this was several years ago. I had a client, they called me after the fact. They were coming from Washington State, so as far away as you could probably get in the U.S. And they had already spoken to a builder, and they had already started the terms and the contracting and the structural options and things. And then he called me, he's like, you know what, the more I'm getting into this with them, the more I feel like I need somebody to help me, because it's going to be a long process. I'm all the way over here. I don't know what's going on. And bringing a realtor in that late in the game is usually not allowed by the builder. You kind of have to mention that you're going to be working with a realtor up front. But in this case, the builder was David Weekley, and they were very generous, and they allowed me to come in and step in and assist, because they had not signed a contract yet. But my first question to them is, okay, great, so what are the incentives that you're offering right now? I asked my client, what are the incentives that they were giving you? And he's like, what incentives? I was like, the incentives that the builder typically offers. And that's part of it, is that sometimes you don't know what questions to ask. And in that case, he didn't know that there was $17,000 sitting right there that they weren't going to offer if he didn't need it, if he didn't ask for it. But that's usually one of the first questions that a realtor asks, that a client can ask as well. But honestly, there's just a lot of things. We could go on and on and on and on. For those of you that have been here that have built homes with us, you see that we send you a Flickr link. We give you updated photos all the time. We're there if we need the pre-drywall walkthroughs or the new home orientations or closings, things in between. So there's a lot of advantages to having a realtor assist you through new construction that you might not be aware of. And then conversely, let's talk about that person that's on the other end of it. Let's use Shelly as an example again, because she's sitting right there. So our builder contact was Carlos with Pulte, and Carlos represents Pulte. And, he was great representing Pulte. He was a great team player with us, but his duty was to work for the builder. Mine was to make sure that, like in your case, we got the refrigerator because we asked for it, and we're like, hey, if we're not going to use all of this, let's apply that money toward the refrigerator. So there's kind of an example as to why those builder relationships are super important. Hopefully that answered it. Did that answer it mostly? All right. Yay. Okay. Do you want to do something else or another one? Daniel and Erica, some more clients. Good morning. We closed in March, and we've had the typical small defects that have popped up that we've noticed after closing. Should we file warranty claims along the way or all at once in March? Okay. Hi, guys. So here's the thing. If it is like structural or mechanical, then you need to get those addressed quickly. I had a client, one of the clients that closed on Friday, top AC unit wasn't working. There was a blockage, and so he didn't have AC up in the upstairs over the weekend. And he could have waited, but I said, you know what, here's the thing, it's like blazing hot, so call it in with warranty. So in your case, if it is small items, if it's small aesthetic things, maybe a cabinet's opening a little wonky, maybe you've seen some cracking in the grout or in the caulk, or maybe in the settling cracks in the corners where the paint is. Things like that are natural and are going to be expected. Those are not emergency in nature. Just make a running list of those. But if there's something that is affecting your plumbing, flushing of toilets specifically, shower drains, sink drains, AC unit working, any of those types of things, those are important to file your warranty claims immediately. Absolutely. And don't forget my biggest tip, which I really encourage everybody to do, is that if you do purchase a new construction home, whether you purchased it with me or not, when you are about month 10 or 11 into that home ownership, get an outside home inspection done at that time. Don't tell the builders I'm telling you this, but get your home inspection done at that time. And items that, again, are structural or mechanical in nature, you can file under that builder's 1-year warranty. And that's a great way to maximize that, because they're going to be looking at the roof, things like that you may not actually be looking at on a day-to-day basis. So, yes. Okay, what's next?
Cool. I don't know. We could go more questions. You can go. Why don't you do Allie?
Let's do Allie. Let's do Allie.
I'm not ready to buy a home yet, but what are some things that I can do to get myself ready?
That is a great question, and I think it's funny because she's actually bought 2 homes, so she does know what she's doing. But that is a really good question.
That's funny.
What?
I had up there my test from before. My Barney Rubble was up there with this is a test of our chat.
So there are a couple of things that you need to do, whether you're young and just starting out, or whether you've just rented your whole life and you've never really thought about home ownership. The first thing to do is to establish credit. If you are young, like my daughter Elizabeth over there, as we found out as they're getting ready to close on a home, establishing credit, getting credit is important. I remember, what? I'm missing all the fun stuff happening over here. So I remember, I was probably, 16, I guess. We were at the Lynn Haven Fish House in Virginia Beach, Virginia, where I was from, and it was like it was Mother's Day or Father's Day. We were all there, my granddaddy was there. And I remember him telling me, you know those snapshots that you remember in your life? You're like, I don't know why we were talking about it. I don't know what happened before it or what happened after it, but it was something he said, and it stuck with me, obviously, till this day. And he said, the most important thing you can do is get credit and get good credit, establish that credit. So he encouraged me to open a JCPenney's credit card, because you could open a credit card, I believe, when you were younger than, like 16. But the key is not to use the credit card, it's to use it, pay it off, to establish that credit. So that's the the first thing. If you haven't purchased a home before and you're just trying to get yourself ready, make sure that you have established credit. If you're super young and you just haven't had that opportunity yet, or if you're older, then you need to make sure that you're monitoring your credit. Make sure that you are paying things off. What is your current credit score? And if it needs a little bit of credit repair, then you need to start working on that in preparation for buying a home. The other thing is finding out from a lender. Like, honestly, that is probably the biggest piece of information that people don't pay attention to. It does not cost you anything to reach out to a lender and to talk with them about, hey, I'm getting ready to buy a home. I'm not really sure if I'm ready for it now. Do I need 3 months, 6 months? What do I need to do? They can talk you through it. And that's one of my, when we have these lenders that we recommend, it's because they do that. They help guide you through the process. There's nothing worse than somebody going and saying, hey, I want to buy a home, and they're like, hey, your credit's bad, too bad, so sad, and then you're like, okay, now what? That's not the way it's supposed to work. You're supposed to be able to communicate with someone who's going to guide you through the process, and the lenders have some great credit recovery programs and some great credit recovery advice if that happens to be a situation that you are in where you're like, well, I have credit, but it's not really the greatest. Okay, well, then there's ways that we can remedy that. Some of the other things for first-time home buyers is pay off your debt. Don't accumulate any more, and start saving your money. And that honestly feels like, okay, well, you're just an oxymoron. Like, how do you pay off your debt and save money? It's like, what do you think? We're made of money? It's hard. You have to be very diligent and kind of religious with your own little budget. But again, I think one of the first things to do is talk to a lender, talk to your bank. If you don't want to reach out to a lender, just find out kind of where am I? What is my debt to income ratio at the moment? Is my credit score okay? Start those initial things. But one of the other things that you should do is reach out to a realtor and start to ask them for some advice as well, because that will help guide the process. I always tell people, the pre-approval is super important so that we know what price range we can focus on when we're looking for homes. But it doesn't matter to me what that price point is. It's about making sure that if you're in this bracket or this bracket or this bracket, that we're honed in on areas, communities, floor plans, and opportunities that are going to really mesh with what it is that you want. So those are some good tips for somebody who might be in the preparation stages of it. Okay, here's another one. Okay. How is Florida schools different from Virginia schools? Don't get me started. Okay. It's really hard because we have 4 kids. My oldest 2 were in college and going to college when we first moved to Florida, and my younger ones, one was in elementary and one was in middle school. So we really did get the whole full Virginia experience and the whole full Florida experience for the most part. I think my son was in 4th grade when we moved here, and he's the youngest. First of all, the school year is different, but the other things that were changing. And I don't know if like when we moved here, the kids got a computer, and I was like, I don't remember that they got a computer in Virginia. And maybe they do now, maybe they did at the same timeline, and it was just because we transitioned that I wasn't aware of that. I think that in some ways is really cool and efficient, and I think in some ways that's really bad. I remember walking with your arms like this with all of your books stacked for all of your homework that was due. I think those things are different, but the school year is different. I don't want to get too much into my actual thoughts about Virginia schools. I am a big fan of Virginia schools. I feel like, oh, there's Jazzy.
Jazzy's going to answer this question.
Jazzy's going to answer the question. Okay, Jazzy, you answer it, love.
Okay, so I did live in Virginia for one time of my life, and I was in preschool, so I can't really say much. I wasn't really there for first. Huh? Whatever. But what I can say is that and especially because I'm in middle school, I'm going into 8th grade, and mainly we use a lot of computers. I don't know if that's just how it was, like Amy said, in the time, but for me, I have everything on computer. But when I was in grade school in 1st through 5th, I didn't use computers at all. I mainly when I did use a computer, it was mainly my mom's computer, and I did stuff like iReady. I don't really remember what it is, but as you get older, I think it's just different things you use. And now, I don't even use books. I don't even know what that is anymore.
I know, right?
Ask Jazzy to tell you where she went to school in what year.
Oh, yeah. So Jazzy, I have to tell you, and this is a true story. So when I have clients, it's very important, especially if you're here in this area with all the new schools that are opening, that those districts or those zonings keep changing, right? And so I talk about your story quite a lot. So why don't you tell us when my videos finally worked and I got that crew to move here, what actually happened? Whoop.
Amber alert.
Amber alert. Jazzy's here. She's good. So once it stops going, are all of our phones going? Here we go. Okay. Everyone look around though. Make sure, like in all seriousness, make sure we're all good and there's no little baby missing or something. Okay, we good? Okay. But yeah, so tell us when you first moved here, if you can remember.
I can.
Your school lineage here in Florida.
Okay, so when I moved here, I was in kindergarten and I went to Whispering Oaks. And I stayed there for only kindergarten. Then Miss Amy moved my family to the area I live in currently. So 1st through 3rd, I went to a school, Independence Elementary. So then after that, I was zoned to another school, which was in 4th grade. Yeah, 4th. Hey, I'm belonging us. In 4th grade, I was in Water Spring, and in 5th grade, I went to Summer Lake. So then when I came to middle school, I was like really excited. I'm like, this could be a new change. I went to Bridgewater, but then a new school got open. So I'm not staying at Bridgewater. I'm going to Hamlin Middle. I'm finally not changing again, unless suddenly they decide that they're going to make a new school. I'm like,
they probably will.
But then I'll be in Horizon. I'll be fine.
Horizon High School.
Yeah, and then I'll be perfectly fine.
I think you're going to be safe in Horizon High School. I don't think that one's going to change on you. But yeah, but honestly, that's a lot. Thank you, Jazzy. Like as funny as that kind of is, like the reality, if you think about it, I know we have some school teachers in here, and you think about what that does to children when they're constantly moving in such really important ages, stages, and phases of their education, that could be a challenge. And all good stuff for you, Jazzy, for managing all of that, because that really can be a mess. But we do talk to people about that a lot, and they will tell you at closing, it doesn't matter if it's resale or if it is new construction, that they are only guaranteeing those schools at the time of closing, because the next day that zone could change again. And in this area where so many schools are being built, and we're grateful for those, that line does change. And poor Jazzy was literally on that line every time, but we love you. So thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, what are we going to do next year?
You're going to answer that.
I'm going to answer that question.
And the answer is yes.
Does Filigree offer food items to go with the beer? Well, Filigree's Coffee.
Yeah.
Right, so I saw some lovely Danishes.
They have like homemade Pop-Tarts.
They have like some. They're delicious. What is it, Sue? Is it
a lemon Pop-Tart?
A lemon Pop-Tart. Sue says it is absolutely fabulous. So yes, you can have food with your coffee, and they can also have food with their beer, right? Yep, there they are.
Yes.
Colin's here too. Okay, cool.
So Marco, they have Chicago-style hot dogs now.
Okay, Marco says Chicago-style hot dogs. All right, so beer and a dog. What are you waiting for? Come on down. All right, that sounds good.
We know a secret.
We know a secret. Oh, we do know a secret. Here's the secret. Are you ready? Okay, so remember, we have discussed this before, that in Florida, unlike Virginia and some of the other states where you can advertise and say coming soon for a piece of property that might be coming on the market in a week, in 2 weeks, even in a month, in Florida, by law, we are only able to advertise a property publicly with specifics 24 hours in advance. So we're not 24 hours in advance, so I can't give you too many details. So right now, it's a secret, but I will tell you, it is a beautiful secret. It is in a 55+ community, and it is almost done, and I'm really, really jealous of the kitchen because they made the choices that I was way too weak to make of my own. You guys actually have the same kitchen. Yeah, not the same, but your island, that I was too shy to make. But it is a beautiful home, so stay tuned on that one because that one's going to be coming on the market pretty soon. Oh, conservation lot, yeah, big beautiful view. Yes, what do you want to do next year?
What do you want to do?
Let me do a question because I have a question over here. Yes, when buying early in new construction, are you seeing the same pricing increases and instant equity by the time you close? Ooh. Okay, so in the feeding frenzy, and that I really do just call it that, in the feeding frenzy, people would buy a home at the beginning stage of new construction. Sue, you would be a good one for this. So far she holds the record for the longest build time. So we've talked about her before, right? So she currently has that non-existent trophy, but not for long because we've got more behind you. But so yes, if you purchased a year or 2 years ago, that's different. It's still kind of progressing. But now, if you're starting earlier in a community, you're not seeing that same immediate kind of escalation. It's still happening, but not at the extreme where some of the clients that purchased 2 years ago were able to see. And like, it's funny because we go to closing and we're like, how much did you pay for that house? Like, are you serious? Because now that exact same house is so much more expensive. However, true story, transparency, the home that we were helping our daughter and son-in-law purchase has not, and we're getting ready to close on it. Beautiful community, there's nothing wrong with it, but as far as the immediate equity that we would have had we purchased it 2 years ago, it's not there. But that's okay, because that's what we have to understand is that that's more normal. We're just used to not normal. And so we're making that our mindset, and when things don't kind of measure up to that, that's when people are starting to, they're going, oh, the market's bad. I'm like, no, it's not. It's just, it's much more normal than it used to be. We were very, very spoiled, my friends. All right, so we can do what I'm watching?
We can, but first say hi to Destin.
Oh, the Easleys. Hey, how are you guys? So yes, it wasn't a question, was it?
No, it was just.
Oh, guys, he got it off the screen. I couldn't read it that fast. I don't have my glasses on.
This is here.
Yes, the Easleys are here. Yes. Yeah. So they actually also, so they're neighbors of yours too. They were right around the corner from you. I'm just like keep pointing to all these people, and everyone's like, what? But yeah, so they actually built right around the corner from you, and they were part of the process as well, where we go to closing, and we're like, I cannot believe you paid that much money for that house because it's like worth so much more now. But at any rate, okay, anybody else pop up there?
We will in a second. Do you want to do what I'm watching? Is that what you want?
Sure, we can do that. Whatever you want. Okay, so I have picked this back up again. I know you don't care what I'm watching, but I just figured I'd share it with you. So Broken Wood Mysteries, it's like, I think it's based in New Zealand, and I think they have like multiple seasons. So this is kind of my go-to when I can't find anything else to watch. I'll get on a little run of watching 2, 3, 4 episodes, not in a row. I don't have that much time on my hands, but I'll watch a few episodes, and it's just really good. So if you like just kind of lighthearted, fun, and quirky, I like it because there's a couple of characters that are thread throughout it, and it just kind of helps bring it all together, and it's really nice. There's this you'll have to watch it, but there's this one lady, she's like this old woman in the most senior of the characters. Teaches them what? Are we no mic?
No, your necklace is on your mic.
My necklace is. Oh, sorry. Hold on. There we go. Better. Okay. But yeah, like so. Every time there's something funny, it's like she's the one that teaches yoga. She's the one that teaches knitting at the prison. She's the one that was the nude double for some old black and white photo. Like she is this character that kind of somehow is doing everything. She's the one that bakes the goodies for this, and it's just very funny. You're like, how does this older woman literally do everything? So it's a cute little series. So if you're looking for something to watch, Broken Wood Mysteries is pretty good. Yes, sir?
Here's a question.
A question. Kim, she's coming back in town soon. What do you think is the next up and coming area? Well, yeah, I think so too. Well, you know, we talk a lot about the Ovation Village. That's kind of happening. We've talked a lot about Mineola. That's also already happening, and so there's a lot of stuff going. But as far as kind of what's up and coming that doesn't really exist yet, I mean, I would have to say is Wellness Way, which is basically Claremont's version of Horizon West. Wellness Way and Olympus, that once it is established, it's going to be a total game changer for that corridor there on 27. And it's not there yet. And we keep thinking that, you know, we refer to this now as Horizon West so much. In fact, it was funny, I was doing an estimated net sheet for a client the other day. I inserted the address, and because it goes through public records, and just it said Horizon West, Florida. I'm like, we're getting there, guys. But I think that in a while, people are going to say, well, where do you live? And they're going to say, I live in Wellness Way. So I think that we'll get there eventually, probably not within the next year, but probably in 2 or 3 years, you're going to see all of that growth and that expansion happening along that corridor. That's going to make a big difference for those people. And again, all those connecting roads, it's going to be a game changer. So that would be my guess.
Cool.
Yep.
James is happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July for tomorrow, everyone. Donna, hi, Amy and Eric from Virginia. Donna and Doug. Aw. Okay. Yay. Hey, Donna and Doug.
Do a little Zillow?
Yeah, let's do a little Zillow. me? Just me? Okay, so Eric, and by the way, some of you, this is what's so fun about our little Heart and Home Orlando family. You guys text me, you're like, oh, my husband found this on Zillow, send it to Eric. So I love that. You're all kind of contributing to this. This is a home in, what's a condo, right? In Destin, Florida. It's just a mere like $2.5 million for a condo, but it's a pretty big condo, a little over 3,800 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 4 baths. It's kind of spectacular in many ways. We can define spectacular really however you want, in a good way or a negative way or a questionable way. But what is absolutely positive is the beach that is right there, right? Do we have a picture of the beach that's coming up, right?
It was there before.
It was there when I was just talking. Anyway, it's beautiful, but take a look at the interior. You know, I always say everybody's taste is their own taste, so it's like we're not gonna like poo-poo on their taste, but there's some really beautiful features. I mean, that is really gorgeous, that kitchen. The chairs, I mean, again, that's a taste, but it's beautiful. So my main thing that I like about that one is that it looks like you can go right on out to the beach on that one. So if you're looking in Destin, Florida, I can help you. Okay, good. All right.
Cool. So you have some other questions?
More questions.
You want to do that one?
I can do this one. My bedroom is too hot. All right then. My bedroom is
She's talking about the air conditioning. That's the breaking news. It's not. Sorry.
Thanks. My bedroom is too hot. What can I do to get more air? P.S. My husband has nothing to do with it. Okay, that really is funny. That's funny.
Did you write that?
I did not. That's not my handwriting. Okay, that's funny. So my son actually has this exact same problem, and much like many of you, I'm dealing with warranty, trying to get them to understand that this is part of their 2-year warranty, and they still haven't responded, and so I'm getting mad. But it can be a number of things. Obviously, I'm not a professional when it comes to HVAC units, but a lot of times, like, so for instance, in my son's room, I just kept going, well, it's because his room is like surrounded by 3 walls on the exterior, so it's just going to be hotter. I kept making excuses. And then finally I was like, no, like your home is supposed to be able to have, a comfortable temperature within the walls of it, no matter, what builder you used and what type of insulation they use. That's just natural. You shouldn't have a room that is tremendously hotter or cooler than another. My first thing is if it's new construction and you're within 2 years, reach out to the builder. If not, and you're beyond that, you can reach out to an HVAC company. I have seen, and this is the first time I've seen it, and it was recently, I had the listing and the buyers as well, and the buyers did a home inspection, and up in the attic space, it looked like the strap that holds the ductwork had come down, and therefore the duct was laying down on the insulation. So obviously when that happens, the airflow and that quality is going to be compromised. So that's something that that definitely needs to be addressed. So once they put that back up and the flow was happening. So that is a thing that happens. I didn't know it can happen, but I would say check with your builder. If it's out of a new construction timeline, call an AC company if you need help with that. I've got a few that I have on standby. And then, the third thing is, see if that's what it is. If it's mechanical in nature or if it happens to be part of the structural up in the trusses where they're hung. How is that? Julia, question. Are these villages, all these villages are not incorporated, correct? They're just part of bigger cities. If I live in Wellness Way, what city would be on my postal address? Claremont is where you would be. Just like Horizon West is Winter Garden, maybe one day we'll have our own zip code, people. I don't know. But at the moment, yeah, so Wellness Way will be a part of Claremont. Yeah?
It's sort of similar, and the answer is not any chance.
Right, left field from Rob. You see how my glasses are on my head. I really should stop squinting. But left field question, what is the likelihood of Orlando annexing other local areas? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't have any expectation for that. Would you?
No.
No?
It's a question that we don't have an answer to, so maybe we can poll the audience.
Oh, okay, this is a good one. What are your favorite haunted attractions besides Universal? Ooh, I don't know. There's so many. All right, so my personal is Tower of Terror. Like, that's my favorite when you talk about haunted, right? I like that ride. Does anybody else know of any other haunted attractions that, other than Universal Halloween Horror Nights, anything that anyone loves?
Screamageddon.
Screamageddon?
What is that?
What's that?
You
Come on up. Yeah. Scream.
If you like haunted houses, Screamageddon is out past Lakeland in Dade County.
Okay.
My daughter and I went when we were doing college tour, and it's the one where you can actually pay extra or be where they will like put you in an oven and they will lock you into a freezer, and it's fake, of course. Like they lock you in jail and you have to like sing happy birthday or the alphabet backwards. It's like very interactive.
Oh my gosh.
If you're 18 and above, or you're not.
Sing the alphabet backwards now.
No.
Can you do it?
No.
Yeah, I would still be in that oven.
And then maybe I can do that.
That's good to know. I didn't know that place existed.
It's one of the most cool ones. But we were looking for other ones because this is my daughter's question.
I gotcha.
We love haunted.
Yeah. One of the scariest things I think is the pantry in my house. That can be a little scary at times. That's good though, Marcia. Thank you for that one. That was a fun one. Oh my goodness. Okay, for visitors, are we allowed to drive through gated neighborhoods to get a feel for it? Is that allowed? No, not really. That's part of the gated concept of a community. But so here's the thing. It used to be, so when we first moved here, my daughter took piano lessons from a lovely lady that gave piano lessons in her home, and she happened to live in a gated community, and it was one of those communities where the gate code changes to visitors like every month. Well, that makes it very difficult when you're trying to get your child to piano lessons and they didn't communicate what the new gate code is, and it was just very frustrating. So during that time, very often I would just follow in behind another car. Now I'm honest, but I'm also a rule follower, and I hated that, but I didn't have another way to get in because she also wouldn't answer her phone because she was teaching another child piano prior to that. So there wasn't really a great system in place to get that new gate code out there. So that's one thing, but I will tell you, I think a lot of these gates now, they like shut that thing down. Like it's like one car at a time, and like so you go through and that thing will come down. So here's what you can do though if you do live out of state and you're coming to town. If you are actively looking and like seriously looking, but you're still just trying to kind of get a feel for some of the communities, if you've got your realtor that's assisting you through the process, then scheduling showings or at least finding a way to have access to the community is helpful. But generally speaking, sweet talking somebody with a Filigree coffee and a lemon Pop-Tart homemade might not do it to get the guard gate to open it up and let you just go wander around, because that's the whole point of the gated community.
Amy, on that note, we have breaking news.
Oh my God.
You have coffee. Here.
I have coffee?
Yeah.
Oh. What kind of coffee is it?
The breaking news.
This is the Filigree Summer Spice Latte.
Oh, okay.
With,
wait a minute.
Espresso, house-made coconut syrup, spice mix, orange bitters, sea salt, choice of milk, and...
Here, look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing for you, Filigree. See how I did that? Oh, lovely. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
You gotta hold it close to you, focus, yeah.
What?
It might be hot. Be careful.
Well, that's why I spun the little band around.
Okay.
He doesn't drink coffee.
That's good. How is it?
Oh, that's good.
That's good? Okay.
That's good. Oh, wait, this makes me feel like I want fall to come sooner.
Well, let's get there.
This is like my new pumpkin spice. This is good. Tell me again, what is it again?
The Summer Spice Latte.
Summer Spice Latte. Everyone, go get one. If you didn't get one. Yes.
So,
this is really good.
breaking news. I have to change the camera here, but still. So let's go to here, and then we'll come here. So, hey, breaking news. So, hey, Marco, can I have an adults are talking? Yeah. So I don't really drink a lot of beer, but I'm gonna drink a beer for the morning because I'm exhausted. Come on. I'm gonna get out of here. So that's that. So that was your breaking news.
So it's an adult. Yes. By the way, you have to look. I mean, I love the names of all of their beverages.
Hang on. We'll try to.
What are you trying to do?
Here, wait. There you go. You can read some. There's Marco pouring me a beer.
What is it? Oh my gators.
Oh, gatos.
Oh my God! I can't see my glasses. Hold on. Here, well, you just tell. Sea level, blinking. Ask for the earliest drink.
That's funny. Thank you, sir.
Oh my gosh, there's so many good ones. Oh, Kokomo.
Let's go here. Where's my beer?
Oh, you got your beer?
Marco. Thank you, Marco. Marco made that.
Right.
Awesome. Okay.
Make sure you're putting these on our tab over there. We didn't.
Breaking news. Hold on, wait. We gotta go here.
Camera's not on you, dear.
I know. Here, wait.
That's on them now.
Here. Okay. Breaking news. We're about done. Have a good morning.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
It's coming. There.
Do I what? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yes, were there any last minute questions?
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here? Okay, cool. Okay. Wait, but here is one. Hold on. This one is important. This question says, what is your favorite coffee? So on a normal day, my favorite coffee is got a lot of like hazelnut creamer in it, but I have a new favorite coffee, and it is the Summer Spice Latte at Filigree. So come out, join me for this. Maybe we'll do another one of these here sometime if they like us. But in all seriousness, guys, this is so amazing. We really just thought we would get Eric out of the house, and it didn't make it easier on him. It actually made it more difficult, but we are so grateful to each of you for whatever way you know us. We love you, we adore you, we appreciate you from the bottom of our heart. Everyone here at Filigree at Home State Brewing Co., seriously, thank you for letting us be a part of your house and from our house and our Heart and Home Orlando family. Please remember to stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you, and happy house hunting.